Welcome to another enthralling edition of the Breakpoint Show, where you have free access to all things tennis in Mzansi. Let's check out what has been hot and happening on and off of the tennis court this month.
My name is Donald Rampari, 28-year-old. I'm from Zanin, Limpopo. I started playing wheelchair tennis end of 2009. And I was not born like this actually, so I got sick at the age of 12 years. That's when everything changed.
Growing up, Donald Rampadi loved sport, especially football. However, everything changed for Donald in the year 2006 when he was diagnosed with a debilitating bone disease. It was a sad moment for him when he found out that he could no longer play the sport that he loved again. He became fully reliant on his parents to take care of him. But there was light at the end of the tunnel for our rising tennis star, Rampadi.
So it happened that my mother had to take me to a special school, which is Letaba Special School in Kwankua in Zanin. So that's where I interacted with people living with disability and all that. But at the time, I was not playing sport. I was just there as a learner and all that. And then I remember 2009, at the end of the year, Patrick Selepe came to our school and he was looking for players who can participate in wheelchair tennis. I remember very well that day. I was not feeling well. I was bored actually. Then when I heard Prabhat saying that we need players and all that, I was like, why not? Let me go and try it out. That's when we went to the courts. We got there, and then we were a lot. So they tried out. Everyone tried out. I think it was me and this other guy who didn't try out the day. So Patrick was like, I'm tired and it's late. I have to go and all that. But my teacher, I remember Ma'am Shkwamban, she was like, no, please let these two also play and all this. So that's when Prabhat gave me a chance, and then after that, remember he was saying that he's late and all that. He was like, he wanted to stay even more because he saw a talent in me, and he was like, I can be a better player in wheelchair tennis. So that's when I started going and practicing more and more. That's how I fall in love with wheelchair tennis.
This year saw Limpopo-born Donald Rampadi being awarded a wild card into the Australian Open quads draw. The 28-year-old from Zanin in Limpopo had an impressive finish in the 2021 year despite the COVID-19 curveball, making the semi-finals of the International Tennis Federation Level 2 events in France and Italy, winning the SA Spring Open singles title at Ellis Park in Johannesburg and finishing the year ranked world number 18.
It was a good one actually, and you know, if one get to experience the feeling of being there, I mean, I don't think one will wanna let go. So I'm working so hard right now to get there next year again. It was a good one all in all. I mean, even though the jet lag was a big problem in a couple of days, I was pretty much sleeping anyway. But yeah, other than anything, I mean, it was a good experience being in the same course with Rafa Nadal, Ashley Beatty, and you know, this top wheelchair tennis player. It was a good feeling.
For me as a coach personally, I mean, I've been working with him and I know what he's capable of doing. Personally, I think Donald can be in the top 4 in the world and he can dominate that. And once we get into the number 1, because of at the moment, yes, we are hanging outside, but it's just a matter of time. We're gonna hit that top 4, and once we hit them, then we're gonna gun for number 1 spot.
When I was a junior, I won like almost everything. So as a junior, so I knew from there that I was something special, you know. For me, starting that late, finding some juniors playing and getting there and overtaking them and being number 1, and then like I think I was unbeatable at some point. So I felt that's when I realized that actually I have something special in tennis.
He's got something to prove, you understand? And if you got something to prove, nothing can stop you. I put that in his mind that, Donald, we can go to a certain point, but now it's time to break in those top 4 because you can do it. If you believe you can do it, nobody can stop you. You understand? Because that, it's a life change for him. That, it shows other kids that anything is possible in life.
There's actually a lot of work that we have to do. So I know for me to get to number 1, for me to get to top 5, it won't be easy. So it requires a lot of work behind the scenes. So I know I have to, that's one thing that we have to do right now. I mean, now we are left with like 2 weeks and a half. I have to fly to USA. So that's why we're back here, we're gonna work hard. For us to get there, we have to work hard.
Currently ranked number 1 in South Africa and 10th in the ITF World Rankings, Ramphadi has major goals for himself. He is already on the path to greatness and his work ethic is taking him places. We wish him all the best and cannot wait to see what the future holds for this tennis champ. Andre Homan has been appointed as the new CEO of Tennis South Africa. He takes over the reins this month. He brings with him a wealth of both academic and practical knowledge. Homan has extensive experience in the sports and events industries and holds 2 honors, BAs and an MBA. He sheds some light on some of the goals that he has in mind for the Federation.
Well, I think it's well known that tennis had its challenges in the past. But over the past 4 or 5 years, under the capable leadership of my predecessor, Richard Glover, many successes have been achieved and there's a solid foundation for me to build on. Some of these successes include the growth in numbers. Many more players have taken up the game, especially over the COVID period. We've introduced several transformation initiatives and we are seeing the fruits of that being delivered. We've also introduced a national coaching structure over the last couple of years and we've achieved silver status, which is an excellent achievement and we hope to get to a gold certification from the ITF very soon. We've also secured financial stability with signing some very significant sponsorship deals with committed and very valuable sponsors. The success of every national federation is really measured by how well our national teams and best players are performing on the world stage. And this is unfortunately a process that takes a bit of time and lots of people over a long period of time. And it starts off by really influencing people and raising the image of the game. Then we need to make the game more accessible, make it easy for people to participate. Then we need to raise some funds to invest back into the development. It's also important that we need to develop the capacity of everybody involved from a young age. And it's not only about the players, but also about the coaches, the administrators, the umpires, the officials, and even the volunteers. They all play a vital part in making our top players world beaters. The biggest strength of tennis for me lies in the numbers. There's a huge number of people playing tennis, socially, not under the auspices of Tennis South Africa, but we do have a lot of members who are registered with Tennis South Africa. Tennis is truly a game for all. You can play it from 8 until 80, and boys and girls, men and women can all participate. And we do provide opportunities at all those different levels. We also try to exploit the opportunities and the potential presented by what we call extreme forms of tennis. These are the new forms like beach tennis, paddle, as well as cardio tennis. We really want to bring those players under the fold and also see how we can add benefit to what they want to achieve. I believe that university tennis is providing a good opportunity for tennis to grow, and we are working with different universities and other bodies to see how we can promote that. There's also another opportunity to diversify the income streams for Tennis South Africa, and we're working on several programs. So we're not only bound to a couple of income streams, but we really need to diversify the opportunity there. At the head office, we've got a small and dedicated team who are really committed to serve the tennis community of South Africa. Unfortunately cannot be everything to everybody, but we are here, we're trying to serve, and if there's any questions, people must certainly try and get in touch with the office and we'll try to help. It's also a call out there for people who want to play. We do understand that there's a lot of people who are interested in tennis, but they're not always sure how to become involved. It is as simple as phoning the office or going onto our website and find a club or a school close to you who would be able to assist you to participate. And it's like I said earlier, not only about players, but we also need volunteers and officials and administrators to take this game forward.
This is an exciting time for tennis in the country, as we can only await the new heights that the CEO will take the sport over his tenure. Stay put, because after the break, we have a look at some of our rising tennis stars. Welcome back. You're still watching Breakpoint, the show that showcases the best of local tennis. Leo Matheson, currently ranked 290th in the ITF Juniors, started playing tennis at the age of 4 and was described as one of the hottest properties in tennis. Not only did he secure sponsorship at the age of 8, but he has some impressive titles under his name. Born and raised in Mitchell's Plain, Leo found a racket by chance.
I started tennis. I went with my dad to the club here in Mitchell's Plain because he wanted to lose some weight, so we just went there and he started playing, and then I hit with the coach at the club and he just asked me to come again, and after that I didn't stop coming to tennis.
Leo joined the academy at the age of 7 and was taken under the wings of Anthony Harris, and has since then been supported by the Anthony Harris Tennis Academy and Match Foundation. He's been growing up around a lot of junior players which became professionals, and such as Lloyd Harris. So I think growing up around him has been a big influence on how he's playing today and how his path of tennis has become.
When I started there, it was good for me because I was always looking up to Lloyd Harris, and yeah, he's always been a good inspiration for me to do good, because he's put out almost like all the benchmarks at certain ages that we can reach if we want to go pro. So it's always something you can work for now, because you know what it takes to get to the pro level. And yeah, we got the Kruger sisters also now, so there's more competition to practice with, and yeah.
Last year, Leo played ITF tournaments around Southern Africa and finished off the year in Kenya. He reflects on his amazing year.
I think winning the first ITF was very good for me because in the final I had a very good start to the match, and I got very nervous in the second set, but I found a way to pull it through. And going into the second tournament, I felt very nervous, and because I was number 1 seed and I had to almost like defend the title again. So it was tough for me in the first 2 matches, but after that it got better for me.
I think it has been a good start for Leo to start his 2022 season with 2 wins in Durban back-to-back. It's definitely one of the milestones we wanted him to reach, to win ITF Grade 5. And I think it's a good sign for his future to be able to compete more and more. And we are hoping to try send him to as many ITF tournaments as possible.
We still deciding with my coach and what's the next tournament, because I think we started the year on a good note and my ranking went up a lot now. So we're going to see which tournaments I can get into, and we're going to see from there.
Saying now how far he can progress is quite difficult because he's only 15 years old, but from the way we see Leo play and the way he shows his professionalism, I think that he definitely has a lot of potential, and I think it's up to him how much he makes of it.
Right now I don't want to go to college. I don't really want to go to school, but of course you have to look into it when I'm closer to 18 years old. But for now, of course, we're going to push to still go pro and play tennis.
Leo was fortunate enough to be a beneficiary of the Academy of Anthony Harris Tennis Academy, as well as the Match Foundation. His hard work and hard-working team around him get funding for him to travel to Europe for the tournaments.
after having a tough start to the year, he had a great end to the year, which made that he reached certain benchmark as a 15-year-old, which allowed us to engage with Grand Slam Development Fund and the ITF, where he could apply for a grant. And he is one of 44 players in the world, juniors and pro athletes, that was awarded $25,000 grant to help him to travel across and get to the tournaments where he need to be.
I think my goal is always to be, of course, number one in the world one day and to win Grand Slams. But I also know that it's going to be very hard. But I just always tell myself to just keep working, because if it was meant to be, it's going to happen. If I just have to keep working to try and get there.
Besides going pro, there's college, there's many other coaching avenues that can also be explored, giving back to the community and blowing back. So I think nothing is impossible, really, in this. And where you start doesn't determine where you end. He started in Mitchell's Plain, but he's seeing the world at this present point in time with his tennis and growing constantly. So, and he loves going back to the courts. This is his courts, he will always say, so it's always nice.
From Mitchell's Plain to the world, tennis is taking Leo places. He loves to be on the court, doing great things. Here's to a brilliant future for this youngster. KwaThema Tennis Club, based in a township southwest of Springs, was revived in 2020 after having lost its vibe over the years. The courts were refurbished after vandals had their way with the facilities. It's now a tennis hub for kids learning tennis within the area.
As you can see, we've got many children that are here. It's not all the young kids that are here. Some have been selected to go and play in and represent the Gauteng East Tennis Association. They're in Benoni as we speak. That would be the cream of the crop in terms of the juniors. They play very well. They love the game. We have parents that are unable to support them in terms of giving them the necessary things like your shoes, etc., attire, tennis rackets, and so it's a battle that we continue to have and fight on a daily basis.
We know that places like KwaThema has got a very rich history in tennis, great heritage. We know in the 70s, 80s, and 90s there are people who have lifted national championships right at this court. I mean, if you look around, you can see, as you said, the fence is missing. This is vandalism by certain, bad elements from the community. You may call them that.
We have, after we had reorganized and we got everybody to come on board, we've seen our numbers growing exponentially. We've had many learners coming through from schools coming to inquire, but unfortunately what is said is that we can't accommodate all of them at once because we are using 2 courts that are in a playable state, but unfortunately there is no fence around the court. So there is interest, there is enthusiasm, but unfortunately we just do not have the facilities to ensure that we keep everybody in the courts. If all of them were in the right state, we would be able to retain. In fact, our numbers could have been much more than what you see.
Nothing has prevented the kids from coming to the court and playing the game that they love. Not even the vandals can stop the future of tennis stars from picking up their rackets and serving the ball. It's great to know that the KwaThema Club works hard to expose the kids to competitive tennis in both the community and the rest of the province.
Playing in tournaments has taught me to not be intimidated because of their facilities, because of them being at better coaches and whatnot. So at tournaments, I take it as a learning curve to learn and to build this confidence in me, because I would always look at them and I would envy them on some, I wish one day I could get to that place where they at.
Ngiqale 18 August 2020 bengibona abantwana la badlala nami ngisengihalela ukuyidlala. My favorite player is Osaka because he's the best player I want to be like her. I like tennis because respect and love, and we play together as a team.
As I was passing here, I used to see other kids play. You know, we came here to actually ask. Me and my wife, we decided that no, it's better if we can take this child there to actually play with other kids. We came, we supported, we enrolled the child. Basically, you know, they're removing these kids from the street.
Please take care of the courts. They are tennis courts. They are not leisure facilities for you to come and drink and chill here and dance, or for soccer, because we always have to sweep the courts. There's bottles, there's people who come in here and think it's a leisure facility and whatnot.
At the moment, we're trying our hardest to engage the municipality, to engage the city of Ekurhuleni, to come on board with us and assist us to get the conditions into shape, into acceptable standards, so that we can revitalize the sport in the area.
Our wish is to at least make sure that we produce players that are going to play in the international circuit at junior level and at senior level as well. I must indicate that in the past we had two of my brothers. One was actually selected to go and represent the country in the Davis Cup. They went to somewhere in North Africa. So it is my wish that there's also get that opportunity of going abroad.
The wish of the KwaThema Tennis Club is to one day produce a Grand Slam title holder that they can boast from their area. They're definitely producing some great young talent that has already seen some international experience. So plowing back into the tennis community in KwaThema can only see more potential players rising from this area.
Tip of the day today is the forehand, topspin forehand. The forehand is one of your most natural strokes, if not the most natural stroke. And you need to allow it to be a weapon in your game. We will demonstrate one of few or two things about how you execute the forehand. It needs a lot of aggression with your footwork and a lot of focus into the execution. I hope this stroke helps the up-and-coming youngsters to learn this technique. It's a critical technique in their development. It's one of the first techniques to master. So once mastering this technique, it helps a lot with the game.
We have reached the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. Remember that you can also be part of the show. If you want to be featured on our next episode of The Breakpoint Show, simply share your photos and videos of your tennis program using the hashtag Breakpoint Show and tag us on all social media platforms. On Twitter, we are @TennisSA, Facebook, Tennis South Africa, or on Instagram, it's @tennis_SA. Until next month, keep watching, keep supporting, and keep playing tennis.